Alrighty, we are on Division 3 of 4 in our standings predictions, and today we are talking about the Pacific Division. Now, this division's a little bit interesting because you have a lot of teams that are on the rise, but you also have a lot of teams that are on the way down, if that makes any sense. There's a lot of teams here that are kind of in the middle. A lot of stuff happened with identity changes and overall team upgrades and team downgrades. Just in this whole entire Pacific Division, it was just an entire kerfluffle of just so many different things. So anyways, I'm not going to waste any time here. Just a little bit of note, the Pacific Division predictions were never released onto YouTube for last season. So these may not be my entirely too accurate ones. I honestly was struggling to remember where I had every team last season. And really, the only team that I got right, apparently, was Seattle at 6th. Or Seattle at 8th last year. So, I don't know. I mean, I don't know. Anyways. Okay, so moving on here to number 8, you have the San Jose Sharks. So, the Sharks I had at 7th last season, and then they finished at 6th. So, obviously, I got that prediction wrong. Obviously, this is the year where San Jose probably falls off. They traded away Brent Burns, and, I mean, this is probably the year where they're, really, really bad. The last couple of years, they've been bad, but not bad. They're going to be bad this coming season. So it's definitely going to be interesting to see what San Jose is going to do because they have a lot of questions, 100%. You obviously have, the Timo Meier qualifying offers, $8 million, and does San Jose want to do that? So really, there may be something else coming into play there, but as of right now, we'll see what happens there with the Sharks. And number 7 is when things get interesting. I have the Vegas Golden Knights at 7th. Yes, I have Vegas at 7th. I just think with their injuries, I think it's going to be really difficult for this team to get past the other teams ahead of them. So last year I had them at 2nd, and they finished at 4th. So I got that one wrong as well. I figured I would get that one right, but nope. So yeah, definitely a rough last season for Vegas. With Jack Eichel coming back and this team being somewhat healthy, I definitely think they may prove me wrong here, maybe not finish 7th. But I don't think they make the playoffs. I still don't believe this team is a playoff team anymore. Getting Jack Eichel is great. But, to be honest, without Robin Lehner and your goaltending tandem being Logan Thompson and Aiden Hill, I am sorry. I am a fan of both of those goaltenders, but I do not see them getting Vegas to the playoffs. And even if they do make the playoffs, what are they going to do in it? Really. I just don't see it. If they can get Robin Lehner back, which isn't looking like it's going to happen, then maybe they have a better chance. But really, I just can't see it. I'm sorry. At number 6 here, I have the Seattle Kraken. This was the only division prediction from last season that I got correct. So I had Seattle at 8th last season, and reluctantly, they finished at 8th. Obviously, Seattle heading into their second season in the NHL with some new players coming into the lineup like Andre Burakovsky, Martin Jones, Shane Wright. So obviously they've gotten some new players in their lineup, but really this team still needs some more time to develop and get closer towards the playoffs. But this season, though, should be another progression year and a year that's closer to that. At number 5, I have the Anaheim Ducks. Last season I had them at 6th and they finished at 7th. But don't let them finishing at 7th tell you that this team is bad. They really weren't that bad last season. They looked really good in the first half. Troy Terry and Trevor Zegras were absolutely just popping it off in the first half of the year, and they even carried it on to the second half. But really, they sold Rickard Rakell at the deadline. They started losing a lot of games, and really everything just started falling apart for them. So obviously they missed, unfortunately. And I think they will probably miss again this coming season. But I definitely do believe this will be a year where they get closer and where they push closer. And they definitely do way better than previous years, 100%. At number 4, I have the Vancouver Canucks. I had the Canucks at 3rd last season, and they finished 5th. Obviously, last season, really, on the opposite compared to Anaheim, on the first half of the year, they were terrible. And then the second half of the year, they really started picking it up. Definitely. And I mean, even at the tail end of the first half, they really started playing really good and started winning a lot of hockey games. And I was really impressed with what Vancouver was doing. They obviously fired Jim Benning. They did all that news. And really, that kind of saved this franchise's season last year. But yeah, really, they didn't make that many changes in the offseason. So I can't come out here and say, oh yeah, they're going to be a whole different team. They kind of are the same team minus adding in Ilya Mikheyev and Kuzmenko. But we'll see there. But obviously, Kuzmenko's looked really solid. in the preseason games for Vancouver. So we'll see if he can carry that over to the NHL. Regular season. Sorry. Okay, so at number 3 is when things get interesting. I have the Calgary Flames. Okay, all right. I know people are not going to like this. Last season, I apparently had them at 4th. And then this year, and then they obviously finished at 1st this past year. So, yeah, that was not a good prediction either for me. But I have Calgary at 3rd. I'm going to be honest. I mean, like, they're not going to be a bad team. They will be worse than last year, 100%. But, like, really, what I need to see from this team for me to be like, oh, yeah, they're definitely going to be like a top seeding team is if the chemistry can click. You have an entire new identity here. You have Nazem Kadri, Jonathan Huberdeau, Mackenzie Weegar. You got so many new guys in this lineup, but so many old guys have left. It's almost a whole new identity, so we need to see what Calgary can do if they can click that chemistry together, and then we'll see if obviously they can make the playoffs off of that. But yeah, obviously we'll see what Calgary can do at 3rd overall. Maybe I'm placing them a little bit too low. People may argue that, but I just don't see it, to be honest. All right, anyways, at number 2, I have a team that, you know, they kind of had their breakout season last year, but I'm classifying it as like another breakout season this year or the year they take a next big step. I have the LA Kings at number 2. And this is pretty bold considering the fact that I had them at 5th last season and they finished 3rd. So definitely that is interesting because, you know, LA wasn't supposed to really make the playoffs this past season, but really they had a lot of good players come into the lineup and played really well, like Jordan Spence, Sean Walker, Mikey Anderson, Sean Dursey. The only thing that's really kind of been bad for this team is the young guys. Some of the younger players like Alex Turcotte, Quinton Byfield, and Arthur Kaliev haven't panned out the way the Kings wanted them to. But I definitely think this season, and I think this is really key if they want to have this breakout season and finish 2nd overall in the Pacific, they need to have those guys have a breakout year. And I very well believe that could happen 100%. Turcotte's obviously dealing with a concussion, so obviously he can't play. But Byfield and Kaliev and some of the other guys in that lineup will definitely get a shot at being able to have a breakout year. But yeah, the LA Kings should be very exciting this coming season, especially with guys like Philip Denault, Victor Arvidsson, and Kevin Fiala coming into the lineup. Hopefully they can stay healthy. It's going to be very fun. Anyways, here looking at number 1, you guys know, if you guys have been keeping track, I have the Edmonton Oilers finishing 1st overall. Excuse me. In the Pacific Division. Last season I had them 1st as well, and they fell down to 2nd as Calgary obviously rised above them. Edmonton's interesting because obviously this team had this rhetoric of how, oh, it's just McDavid and Draisaitl for so long. And now I think it's finally that they have a really good team around them. And I think this run to the conference finals really solidified them as a cup contender. Like everybody was kind of, it was a little bit iffy. But I think now that they made their run to the conference finals, everybody sees what this team can really do. And they're like, hey, they're definitely a cup contender. So definitely, I am very optimistic to see what Edmonton's going to do. The biggest thing that I saw them do this offseason was improve their goaltending. Jack Campbell is a huge upgrade from Mike Smith or Mikko Koskinen, or even both of them combined. Campbell is a very good goalie, doesn't get enough recognition he deserves. Definitely a great goaltender, and I'm very intrigued to see what he's going to do with the Edmonton Oilers and see if they can make it to 1st. But I believe they can. So yeah. That is my Pacific Division predictions. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Thank you all very much for watching. For all supporters later, really do appreciate it. Opening night is tomorrow. The Atlantic Division predictions will most likely be Wednesday of this coming week. They're a little bit later than usual. I'm sorry I didn't have time to get them all out. I might be able to get it out tomorrow before opening night, but we'll see. Anyways, let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Thank you all very much for watching. For all supporters later, really do appreciate it. Make sure to subscribe down below. If you are new, we're about 20 subscribers away from 2,000, so we're going to keep on grinding for it. But yeah, thank you all for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Adios.